What is up, everybody? How goes it? Starting a new project today. I think the other Supabase project just got a little bit messy. I was being a little bit sloppy with how I was doing things. Cookify Media, hello, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to have you here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do a new project today. I was thinking about doing something that will challenge me a bit, but also can cover some things that I want to cover, like role-based access controls. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna create like a job board app. This is gonna be temporary. I don't know for sure. I shouldn't say temporary, tentative on my feelings like moving forward with this, but I think that's what I'm gonna start out with today. So I've went ahead and like initialized a new project here. I've just done like the initial setup of a project, nothing too crazy. And I'm gonna set up some of the Prisma and Supabase integrations really quick before moving on to actually working on the application. I'm also going to ignore styles a lot in the beginning. I have a habit of trying to make things look good before they're functional. So if you see some really ugly looking things, just bear in mind that it'll get prettier in the future. I just want to work on the functionality and I want to get some stuff done. So I think I actually need to install Supabase, the client. I don't think I've actually installed that just yet. I'm also going to need the Auth helper as well. Okay, now I need the Auth helpers for SvelteKit. Okay, I think we're good here. As far as this goes, I can run my server so that we have access to it here. And I'm going to set up my hooks the same way we did before. Justin Molden. I'm just starting a new project. The other one, I kind of was just experimenting a lot and things got messy. And yeah, I just needed I need a fresh start. Because I started out by like copying a bunch of their code over and then manipulating that, and yeah. I just looked at the code today and it's kind of a mess. So yeah, Plus, again, I'm going to be able to repeat this into my brain, how to properly set this up. Yeah, I'm going to try to build probably a job board application today. Well, I'm not going to build it all today. I'm going to start it. But it'll have... Justin said, I'm also trying to decipher the SvelteKit auth helpers and wondering why they didn't do the handle the way that you're doing. Yeah, I'm curious too. I don't really know who wrote it or how much experience they have with SvelteKit. Probably more than me, but again, I don't really see anything wrong with this way. But there might be. So again, if anybody new here is watching and sees me do things slightly different than the documentation says, I'm just kind of experimenting here. And until I decide otherwise, we spent the first stream kind of investigating, and I didn't see a particular reason why I couldn't do this. But it certainly could be a problem. I believe I actually found some problems in the docs there that I'm writing up and an issue for them, like their use of both layout server. So I think that there's a reason for that. Pretty sure there's a reason for that, Justin. I don't remember. I have to go look at the docs again. But I think there was a reason. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't remember. I either figured out, but I did notice that too. Because these are different. So get server session and get Supabase, but they're different, but they're like kind of the same. I don't know. Session will be session from Supabase or null. And then here we got to do this. Okay. Both of those return to session, which just gets overwritten by the shared version. Yeah, I discovered that as well. And I think that, yeah, I guess in that case though, it'd be making two requests, right? It would be making two, it'd be making a request server side and client side. But it might have been something to do with the invalidation that we were running with the auth state changed, I believe. But I'm not too sure. I still haven't fully wrapped my head around how to like, how can I choose to only opt for client side if like ideally I want to be able to have server side as, you know, the initial render and the fallback, but then be able to do other things client side while still having, which I guess I can do with actions or with enhancement, progressive enhancement. Yeah, my understanding that just creates an additional request to the server that seems unnecessary. Yeah, I believe that's what I may have concluded as well. while doing this, but I'm going to leave it in mind to experiment with it further. Just started. Nice. Yeah, Luminox. Just started. I'm gonna try to build like a job board application. Where we're gonna have two different types of users. We're gonna have employers and candidates, right? I think that's the proper word for that, candidate and employer. So employers can create, you know, companies, or an employer account can create a company, right? They can make job postings. It also gives us the potential in the future to integrate Stripe. So being able to pay for job postings or pay like a pro subscription tier where your listings will be promoted or something like that, right? Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research today on AI stuff as well. Specifically like the Dream Booth stuff, being able to generate, you know, AI avatars and things like that. I haven't actually messed around with that, surprisingly, myself. I briefly looked at the docs today and I kind of got confused, but that might be something that we do in the near future too. Not with this application, but just something separate. I just have to cough up a bunch of money in development costs for the GPU time. I have a GPU. I could run it here, but I think it'd be super slow. I don't have a Bitcoin mining rig or anything, so. Just say, you've been trying out Stable Diffusion to generate anime art. It's okay, no shame. Yeah, I've been putting myself into anime movies. To be honest, I've actually never watched anime. I mean, I didn't even really watch, I never watched Dragon Ball Z or any of that. Which I've come to find out is surprising in this industry. Why is this trying to import this before I say so? I guess I need to import, I need to actually create the Supabase client. Yeah, I've never watched it. I don't really intend to, but I don't have anything against it. I'm surprised. I think it was until I joined the Marine Corps, none of my friends growing up ever did either. Yeah, I've had a couple of roommates that were big into it. How's your week going, Luminox? Good? And nearing the end of my semester and I'm dead tired and needs to end ASAP. Is your semester end in December? What year is this for you? Uh, 1.5 in a 3-year program, halfway done. Nice. Why can't I find Supabase here? Okay, I just had to restart Vite. Why is this doing this? Oh, wait. There we go. Is it a computer science program? Not really computer science, is programming web and mobile apps. What kind of mobile apps have you made? That's something I haven't messed with at all yet. I should probably move these here. No mobile apps next semester. I'd say it's like a CS degree light, but we don't get to call ourselves engineers. In Canada, is a computer science considered an engineer of some sort? I know every country has engineers, different definitions for engineers. I think of engineer as a word for, they can be applied to, yeah, so like we have mechanical engineers, civil engineers, chemical engineers, petroleum engineers. And those are like the ones that you officially, I guess, earn when you graduate with a degree, but I don't believe if you graduate with computer science here, you're considered like an engineer. I think it's just really whatever your role is, whatever your job title is. There's different types of engineering, so it's like most of my professional career, I was like a network and systems engineer. I did go to school for that, but it wasn't until after the fact. I just finished both of my, yeah, okay. So it's Canada's one of those countries. I think it's more of just being salty. I think it's a salt thing. I think anybody that makes a big deal about that is insecure about their job. Like I know there's like computer engineers, but I feel like even that is like going away. So computer science graduates in Canada are registered engineers. That's what you're telling me. Can someone tell me why when I import something here, it says navbar svelte? Is this just trying to give me like an idea that it's a svelte component and not like a JavaScript file or a TypeScript file? Because this is really annoying. I wish it would just say navbar here. My buttons are beautiful. If you go to university and do a computer science engineering degree. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's similar in other countries in Europe too, that I've heard. Yeah, I think anybody that makes a big deal out of anybody's job title is insecure. I've never met somebody that's actually really good that cares what their title is or what other people's titles are. All right, so we have this set up. One thing I don't remember is how we did that thingamajig. that thingamajig with the thingamajig. Our functions to create the okay, so that's my trigger. All right, so we'll set this up here. So we have public. I guess I will create a Prisma schema as well. Okay, so this will be for I guess we won't have usernames. We'll just have email. It's gonna be a professional site. So I wonder if so do we make all users create an account and then someone else can register as a company after the fact? Or register a company after the fact and then give them a special role? Like how does Indeed do it? So with Indeed, we have just the regular site that loads up. And I'm assuming this is going to be for somebody who's seeking a job or a candidate. And then we have employers / post job here. It looks like it takes us to / hire. Yeah, so / hire is essentially going to be like, we can just do / employer. And that can be like a group route for us. Why did it say, oh, Constantino's welcome to the stream. Funny news, welcome to the stream. Hello. Sorry about that. I've said Pocket Base. I meant Supabase. Let me adjust that title real quick. Thanks for pointing that out. I've been brainwashed with Pocket Base and Supabase the past couple days, couple weeks, really. I spent the better part of hours today and yesterday editing that hour-long video I posted today. Yeah, thanks for calling that out. Appreciate it. What's up, Michael? Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you all here. Oh, I see we have 11 viewers. Welcome everyone to the stream. Let me actually update the title. So yeah, it looks like if I try to join as an employer, I wonder if this is going to be my let me log into my email, that test email real quick. I just want to see how they're handling the separation of an employer versus a, okay, here we go. Wait, I'm an employer. Create your employer account. So they still have to make an account with username and email. Congrats to the new video. I saw it. I'll watch it later on. Thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty long one. I honestly did not realize how long that was going to take. But it covers quite a bit. It covers, you know, password complexity validation, covers image validation or file validation, checking image types, checking image sizes, things we've done on previous streams here. So if I'm an employer here and I create this account, Okay, so it wants me to, of course, do this. But I'm curious though, is the employer account... So I want to say it's like a role, right? Like could technically someone that has an employer account, I would assume that an employer account would be a company email account, right? So it would have a company email address. And then if you're seeking jobs, you have a separate account with your personal email address. So it's probably safe to say that obviously they'll both be considered users to Supabase. But we can have roles on the profile that will determine if that's in a user account or an employer account. Joel says, how do you make a drop down in Svelte that works on your phone? The pocket-based video site only works on PC. Really? You're talking about for the pocket-based video site. What dropdown are you referring to, Joel? Or Joel? First name, last name, and then can I do like an enum here? Let me see. Enum. And then they use that like this. Then we can give a default as well, which is pretty cool. So in this case, we'll have user, we'll have, what should we call this? Should we call this candidate and then employer? Or do we have like seeker? Seeker kind of sounds like I'm seeking arrangements. If you're familiar with that site, if not, don't look into it. So then we can have role is going to be role, and we have at default, and we pass in the default role. I think we can do candidate. I think I have this backwards. Role, and then we have at default candidate over here like this. Now, an interesting thing, though, is that so I wonder if we have two different profiles, though, because technically, like, I would like to have more information for that candidate under their profile, right? I want to have like their GitHub profile. This is gonna be like, we're calling this hire nerds or hire a nerd or something like that right now. So it's gonna be like a technical job board site, right? But do I do that here and leave it optional and just make a mess? Or do I define a separate model, a separate table for the profiles for candidates and then the profiles for the employers? Or will that get messy when I'm trying to set up like RLS and stuff? That's my question here. Aspirant. Oh, I'm having ambitions. I thought that's what that might mean, but Michael says recruiter, candidate, organization. That's a good idea, actually. But would the organization be entirely separate though? Like, who creates the organization? I don't think a recruiter would create the organization. A recruiter would join the organization later on. So do we just have like a generic profile with just the name and the role, and then we can have organization? I don't really know if that would be an account. Well, so we could obviously have recruiter as well in the future. But I think that first we need to have like someone needs to create the top level employee account or employer account. I have employers, or employer. And when they create that account, that will create them an account, of course. And then part of onboarding is they'll create the company, right? And then we'll have a model for companies as well. And then companies will be related to the employer. Yeah, that's why I wanted to build something like this, because it's interesting. Maybe I have an org account and then a field for users to be admins for that org. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. I think that's a good idea. So maybe we do individual and then organization. And then, yep, that's good. So then within that organization, so if a recruiter was going to be joining, they would create an account and then they would have admin rights or recruiter rights, whatever, for that organization to post and view job applications. But I guess my question still remains is, do we just keep profile like bare minimum, or do we want to because I feel like there's going to be some flags we want to set for or some, columns that we're going to want to have for individuals that we don't want to have for organizations. So obviously we're going to have like an organization table, right? And this will have, again, of course, an ID. It will have a name. We'll probably have an industry, which will be an enum probably. But for now, let's just try to keep it as simple as possible. So we have a name for the organization. We're probably going to have a website. The name should probably be required here. And then what else we're going to have? We're going to have a company size, which could also be an enum later on down the road. But let's just say we want to have this. And then we want to have so the organization will have a user that owns the organization. for the organization's, yeah, we'll have an organization owner, and then there can be admins of the organization as well. How about if the company organization has an admin referencing to a profile? Yeah, it could. No, it certainly could. That's kind of what I'm doing here. But my thing is, I guess I could just have like, this is like the user profile, and then I could have another table for the candidate's profile, but I think it might get messy. Or do I want to have another users table and handle it this way? Because I'm trying to just look here at like another example, Glassdoor. Like here's my profile here. So I have, you know, preferences here for job stuff. Well, I have to use Prisma and Supabase provide us API docs to get data. They do, but I like defining the schemas with Prisma. And it will also give me the ability to take this somewhere else later on without making too many changes if I decided to not use Supabase. And then third, I'm not sure how much of the Pocketbase streams you watched, but we ran into a lot of issues with the SDK just not being able to support the level of complexity in some of our queries, especially related to indirect expansions, nested, like deeply nested indirect expansions. So indirect expansions of indirect expansions. I'm not even sure if Prisma can handle that, but it should be able to. And I just worry about the SDK's limitation there because that was really annoying. Plus, I don't really want to, every time I also have to, again, I guess I could generate types based on my, they have a CLI tool to generate types, but don't they have a, where's their, probably here. Where's their client? It's auto-generate API. Yeah, I'm familiar. I'm using Supabase on a little project, a little mini tool that I built for work. Hello, Yogan. Welcome to the stream. I tried Supabase with Prisma before and it was complaining about different namespaces and databases right away, so I didn't follow that path. Maybe I should give it another shot. Hey, use whatever works for you. I've had people request to use this, and I ran into, unfortunately, first-hand experience with a lack of capabilities for than an SDK. Like you can only expect, I feel like you only expect an SDK, which I guess Prisma client is technically similar, but oh, what am I doing here? Actually, yeah. So we can have under profile, we would have organization would be an organization. But I want to do a one-to-one. So actually I need to do a many-to-one, but only one. Oh, so I have this backwards. So a profile, a user can only be a part of one organization, but an organization can, well, I guess this is the creator. So it's one-to-one. Hey, Dan. Says, hey, it seems like your streaming is really taking off. Oh, wow. Yeah, I still have 11 viewers. Wow. I actually have to move something to see my viewer count, so I'm trying to not look at it. Yeah, more and more people are coming every week. It's pretty awesome. I'm happy that this many people want to see me learn. Because I'm not doing anything too exciting here. So let me look at the model here, relations. I'm trying to think. This will be a one-to-one, right? Because a user can only create one organization. I feel like that's a pretty good limitation to have. Constantino says, I like Prisma, but it didn't work out of the box. I probably did something wrong. Hopefully you'll do a dedicated video on the topic at some point too. Maybe so. Maybe so. That's, again, why I want to use it too. Oh. Wait, what am I doing wrong here? So we have a... I guess it would be, is it optional? Or is this optional? So I have a user. Again, I'm not trying to model this exactly, but so an organization can have one user. And then the user can have one organization. Oh, this needs to be unique, I think. On both sides? Really? I don't think so. There we go. Okay, so now we have a user, or we have an organization. A user can create an organization. Each profile can only have one organization though. They create. and it's optional. So and then we'll set up something to where if the role is individual, then they can't create an organization, right? Well, actually, I don't know if that makes sense. Dan said, I've been following your past streams. It seems like you're getting views. I hope my first comment didn't come off sarcastic. Wasn't meant to be. You're crushing it. No, I didn't take it as sarcasm. I did not take it as sarcasm. Thank you. I appreciate that. I greatly appreciate it. I think YouTube started promoting me once I got partnered with them, which I think they were actually running ads in my videos before. That's an interesting thing to me. So YouTube will run ads on non-partner videos and they just keep 100% of that. To me, that doesn't make too much sense. But that's a topic for another day. Okay. I'm still trying to think about how I want to do this. I feel like you guys might be steering me in the wrong direction here. So we have a user. Somebody creates an account. Scenario A, someone creates an account. They are looking for a job. They have a name, last name, and then the properties that belong to their user profile, which is going to be the email, right? And then if someone decides that they want to be an employer, though, I guess we could just have two sides of the application. So I guess we have a job seeker site, and then, or we have a job seeker part of the application, and then we have another part that is for organizations and recruiters and yada yada yada. I think we can keep all users the same. We can have a user be able to create an organization, and then if they do have an organization, they can then go into the organization side of the house. Otherwise, they won't be able to, right? And then the creator of that organization will be able to assign other users to that organization. And then they'll have roles, right? So then I would probably need to have like a join table, I believe. Because I don't really know a better way, rather than like, obviously I could have a many to many here, or I'm sorry, one to many, or one organization can have many users, but then how do I control the access based on those users? Okay, I could give them a role on their actual accounts, or I could just make a table and we'll say organization users, and then each one of these will have, of course, an ID. It will have an organization ID, or I guess you can just say organization. It'll also have a user, and then it will have the role. So I don't think we actually need role here for the time being, because we'll just assume that every account being made is just a user profile. And then for roles, though, we could have like organization role. Is it underscore? Is the syntax, is the standard for Prisma underscores for multiple words, or do I just slap them beside each other? I guess I could probably just do, I'm over here trying to use snake case Python variables. Organization user, and then I can set the actual name of the table like this. That way my types stay good, but my tables look clean. This will be mapping organizations to users. We can say organizations, users. Role is going to be of type organization role. And then we can have an at default is going to be recruiter, admin. We'll start with recruiter and admin. So how do I do, this is going to be a join table. So it's going to be many to many, but it's actually going to be, or I'm sorry, it's going to be like an implicit many to many, right? Yogan says, the first video I saw from you was recommended, and it was the SvelteKit loading video. That's awesome to hear, Yogan. Hope you liked that video. I guess you did if you're still here. Hey, Harry, how's it going? Haven't checked in for a while. How are you liking Supabase and Prisma over Pocket Base? I haven't got far enough yet to make that determination. I assume that I will like them relatively equally. I think I'll probably like Supabase more because of its maturity. It's much more mature. They have a lot more funding, a lot more money. I think Pocket Base is fantastic. I think it's only going to get better too as more contributors come around and it's, you know, used more. Also, I'll have my camera. I already have my camera. I'll have my camera set up I think by the end of this week. I'm waiting on a few more things to get here. A tripod or a desk mount for it being one of them. And some extension cords. And yeah, so I'll have a face cam probably this weekend. Okay, so I want to do, can I do this here? So I don't want to have, like with a join table, do I even need to have, I need to have it related, but I don't think I actually even need to, do anything beyond this piece here, right? So if I do organization here, and then do at relation, organization ID, references ID. Then I have user. I spelled organization wrong. Is this okay? This is not okay. So I need to have organization ID, of course, which is going to be a string. And then user ID, which is going to be a string. I'm sorry, this is going to be a profile. And then the role will be defaulted to, I guess we'll default to recruiter. I could probably have like a view only or something role as well. Why is this breaking here? Okay, so I need to have an opposite relation field. Why though? Indeed roles are admin, jobs, candidates, analytics, and billing. Good to know. I'm interested to see how they're using like jobs. I'm assuming maybe jobs is people that can post a job. Or is the job literally the job that's posted? Okay, can you show me how to jobs post, sponsor, and manage jobs directly on Indeed. Applies to all jobs posted directly on Indeed. It also allows user to sponsor jobs if a payment method is available. Interesting. So that's something that I want to actually, for those of you who just popped in recently, what I want to do eventually is to try to integrate Stripe. And I've never done that before. So integrating Stripe to be able to pay to post jobs, right? Or pay to promote the jobs, or have some type of fancy icon beside the job to catch the candidate's attention. So obviously we have to keep track of, you know, which jobs are paid jobs, how to handle that. So I'm very interested in that. So that's one of the motivating factors. I guess it's going to be called is it not a, am I confusing a join table with a junction table? Junction table. Hey Mohammed, welcome to the stream. Okay, so I guess it's just like this, right? So they have a resource here that has resource tags, right? So let's just pretend like this is our organization's users. They have an index set here. Then they have resources tags. They have resource ID, tag ID, resource, and tag. Okay, so I'm just missing one thing. And I actually want to do this here for my multiple. I would rather do map tag underscore ID here as well. And same for this. Can I do this here? So organizations will have one user, but then they'll also have organization users. And that's going to be an array of organization user. And we'll say organization. Actually, I don't think we need to do that here. But here, I guess we don't even need the ID of this specifically. We can just use something like this. And in our case, we'll have organization ID there. We'll have user ID here. And this will actually be user ID and organization ID. So then for the profiles, we need to set up organization users. Yeah, I think this is the best way to do it, right? But again, though, I guess that's okay. Not too sure if I want users to be able to belong to like multiple organizations. That seems a little bit not right. But I guess if you're like a headhunter or a third party, you should be doing that for yourself. I'm trying to think here. What do y'all think? Should this be... Man, I think it's really the only way that I could... Or can I do one of these as... I feel like I could do one of these as... I feel like I could do one unique. Oh, whoops. If I make this like this, and then I go to here, and then I say at unique. Okay, so a profile can only have one organization, or I'm sorry, a user can only have one organization, right? Or can only belong to a single organization. But an organization can have multiple users. So we can have multiple entries in this table, multiple rows in this table with the same organization ID mapping a unique user to their role. Okay. Let me think here. What else is there? I wonder if this has to be above this or not. I'm not too sure how Prisma okay, so I think this should be okay for now. Okay, so I just pushed that. So let's check out Supabase to see if our tables were updated. They were. So now we have organizations. We have organizations underscore users. Then we also have profiles. Okay, so we obviously need to set up authentication now. I actually need to set up those functions that I had here before. So let me actually do that. So whenever a new user is created, it's automatically going to create a profile as well. So first we'll define a trigger inside of here. Triggers, we'll create a new trigger. We'll say, this is very annoying. I don't like this keeps popping up here. Just pop this over here real quick. Okay. Should be good now. So this will be create profile, or I'm sorry, the trigger is actually going to be create a user. So when the user is created, this is going to trigger. On inserts, and we'll have users auth. After the event fires, right? Because we don't want to prematurely create a profile before the user is actually successfully created. Probably fires once per row. I'm guessing this means that I'm going to say row here. And then I can choose a function, which I don't have created yet. So I guess I create the function first. So we'll say create user profile. Public schema, it's going to return, I believe, void. And we paste this here. Show advanced settings. Security definer. This will allow the function to be called with my privileges rather than being the user. I think that's what I need to do there. Oh, it's a trigger, I think. I can't remember. I couldn't find the article that I used to do this the first time. And then if I go to like look at this function here, let's look. Like there's not really much I can do with this. It doesn't even show me what I actually defined there, which is kind of, oh, return type is trigger. Okay. Okay, so I can create a trigger now, and this will be create triggers here on an insert after the event for each row. That way, if we're creating multiple users, which we shouldn't be doing in a single statement, but regardless, we'll create the user profile, confirm. And I think that should be good for now, right? I believe. So now I should be able to actually register a user, and I need to look at the docs for that because I don't want to use magic link again. Even though that's really easy. I think some people find it annoying. So we'll do login with email at first. But first I need to actually create a user, right? Or does this create the account if they don't have one? Log in an existing user, sign up. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm looking for, the SDK docs. Okay, so they just type in an email and a password. Why does phone say required here? That's weird. Oh, okay, I see. If they're doing phone and password, we can do that here. So it's a reflection or reflection. We can just do this here. And this is cool. So I can actually do an email redirect to here as well. Okay, so let me actually install Zod here. And I guess for the time being, I'll install Daisy UI as well. And we will come into components. I'm going to make an input, and I'm actually going to use a trick that a viewer taught me a few weeks ago. And that is this: $ props extends partial, and then you type in the svelte.jsx.html attributes, HTML element, tag name map, and then I can pass an input here. And then I can specify any types that I'm going to be using. So I'm eventually going to have errors, but for now, we'll just do this. Label of string, ID of string, and I can say export let ID is be a string, export let. Wait, did I not close something? I didn't close this. Label is going to be a string. And what this $ props does, to my understanding, I believe one of the maintainers of Svelte has a video on this. I can never remember his name, but basically it'll allow us to inherit all of the props. There's a word I'm looking for, I just can't think of what it is, but we don't have to pass in all the props that we normally would have here. We can use rest props, and it will just, I'll just show you. And actually I need to come into my Tailwind config, and plugins will say require Daisy UI. And let me just reload my application here. So I'm going through a really good CSS course right now. I'm still in like the very beginning of it. So I'm relearning CSS from scratch because I am so bad at it, it's not even funny. And I want to be good at it. Or I want to at least know why I can't do certain things that I'm trying to do. Because oftentimes I feel like I have a decent enough idea to make things look good after struggling for 30 minutes to an hour. But what I want to be able to do is just be able to do things on the fly. And since CSS was one of the first things I learned, and I haven't really relearned it since, I've just kind of looked up everything along the way. I'm interested to learn more about it and potentially be able to create my own, you know, styles for all my different components and all that good jazz. So right now I'm learning. It's an awesome course. I believe I tweeted about it the other day. Then we do ... here. It's trying to do something that I don't want it to do. $$ rest props. And it'll just pass in the rest of the props that I pass into this component here. And the reason I need to take out ID, so basically if I'm adding additional props, so I'm adding label, which is not typically added to an input, right? And then ID, I'm using ID in my application because or my component, because I'm just setting the name to ID. So I need to take those out, and then I need to ensure to define them and type them either way. But then everything else, I can just type it in and it'll pass it here. And this is new. This is new with the latest version of Svelte. At least I think. I don't remember this being here before. And then I also want to create a form container. I was wondering what it was for a second. Yeah, Antonio, I think it's new. Again, I just installed this a few minutes before I started the stream. Well, actually, this is going to complicate things right now, so I'm not going to do that. So now we have an input component. So now I'll make a new route called register. Do you guys use register or do you use sign up? Register or sign up? Register. Same here. So this is gonna be our register form. So we'll do /register here. Emmett's still going strong. Yeah, Emmett is amazing. I've actually had a lot of people commenting, either messaging me on Discord or commenting, asking about my extensions that give me that ability. You take a look at Roam tools. No, but I will right now. Actually, before I even make a commit, I need to set my indentions to 4. I got roasted a couple weeks ago for not having that. And I actually prefer 4. So I spent quite a bit of time in Python where it's 4. But I thought JavaScript was 2, so I switched my prettier to 2 because I didn't want to be a outcast. And I come to find out that everybody uses 4 here. Built with Rust. It must be blazingly fast then, right? Must be blazingly fast if it's built with Rust. I'll try it. I'll add it. I'll give it a shot. I'm not too opinionated when it comes to... I use tabs and 2 spaces. 4 looks too spacey to me. Yeah, well... Especially when I'm making videos, because I'm zoomed way in. Like, it may look like I'm at normal size to you, but on my screen, this is like normally I think I can have like 50 lines or 60 lines of code on a single page if I'm not recording. And actually now when I switch back to that, it looks too small. So now I guess my vision's just jacked up for making videos. But yeah, with 4, it does certainly, yep, 100% switching to pre-release. Give me all the bugs. I want them all. Okay, so let me see how this actually works. I know we're kind of getting sidetracked here, but this looks pretty cool. Okay, I'm assuming that so it's an opinionated formatter. That's really good. So I use black for Python, and it's also very opinionated with limited room for options or control. And that's what I like about it. I don't have to think about it. It's actually becoming it's pretty widely adopted, I think, at this point. That's habit default is 2. Okay, so I can change this though. I'm assuming I can have it automatically run on save as well. I would assume, I would hope. I'm assuming this covers TypeScript as well, right? Or do I have to specify TypeScript as well? I feel like it covers TypeScript. Wait. So now I need to set up, do I actually need to set up that config still as well? Roam.json, that's just in my root. I like the name. Oh, they even have an icon too, nice. I want this to be single quotes for JavaScript. So is that going to be here then? It'll be like JavaScript. quote style. Okay. Okay, so it's not updating that, and that's because so it's still running pretty right now. I probably need to install it, right? Or do I just need to have the I wonder if that's because I'm using prettier here. You think this is why? Which I still wanted to do my Svelte configs. Put JavaScript in formatter. Oh, I need to actually install it. Yo, why is this so big? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's still not updating my... Okay, that definitely worked. My size, though, is not... Is that an issue with my indentation on my editor? Or does that get overwritten by... Okay, so why is it not adding more space to my... my tabs? Does no one use anything interesting? Tired of seeing React and TypeScript everywhere. How about some ClojureScript or Imba or something more interesting? I'm not using React. I'm using TypeScript and SvelteKit. I've never heard of ClojureScript or Imba, but same. Okay, so this is 4 now here, but this isn't 4. TypeScript is so ugly and boring, you should try ClojureScript or Racketlang. I have to change this for every, will my new files be defaulted to this? So if I make another file called something, so why is that there? That's got to be a setting I have, right? Okay, so I have this here, modified elsewhere. I have a bunch of settings from like the beginning of time here, so please forgive me. Oh, I have editor tab size for TypeScript. Oh, interesting. There we go. Okay. That seems to be good now. Cool. Yeah, I've never looked at ClojureScript or anything that's too crazy. I don't mind TypeScript. I'm not very good at it, but at least just yet. I probably should do that, Antonio, just not set it at all, but whatever. Okay, where were we? We were on registration. So I'm going to take in my inputs. It's going to have an ID of email and a type of email. The label will be email. Also, you should use Pocketbase as Supabase. I've been using Pocketbase for a couple months now. I have a lot of videos and I've done quite a bit of live streams on Pocketbase. I think it's all I need here, I believe, right now. So I'm wondering, do we have them I wonder if we handle the profile here as well. So then create the user, and then immediately after that, then we actually update the profile with the information they put here. Or do we reduce friction, have them enter an email, and then part of onboarding is to fill out their profile? Okay, so that's the register page. Let's just see what this looks like really quick. Actually don't have the link set up properly. So we actually do that really quick. And I'll obviously run checks on these in a bit. It's going to be really ugly for the time being, but again, minimal styles, maximum functionality. And as I say that, I'm having okay. And then I guess on the register page, I'll just put register so we know what page we're on.